Nobody saw this twist coming, not even the fans who swear they can predict every love and hip-hop storyline. What started as another night of drama between the cast spiraled into something deadly serious, leaving Jock facing the possibility of handcuffs, Kirk in the hospital, and Rasheeda absolutely shattered. According to insiders, tensions between Jock and Kirk had been building behind the scenes for weeks. What was brushed off as friendly banter and typical guy stuff apparently reached a boiling point during a heated argument that went way too far. Witnesses say voices were raised, threats were exchanged, and then in one shocking moment, Kirk collapsed and had to be rushed to the hospital. Cameras kept rolling, but producers allegedly cut the feed when things went from messy to medical emergency. Now whispers are flying everywhere. Was Jock directly responsible? Did the confrontation escalate into something physical? Or was Kirk's collapse stress-related after all that pressure? The word arrest is floating around, and Jock is at the center of it. Sources claim law enforcement is reviewing footage and questioning cast members about what really happened in that room. Meanwhile, Rasheeda's world has been turned upside down. She was seen breaking down in uncontrollable tears outside the hospital, telling producers she couldn't keep doing this while the man she built her empire with was lying in a hospital bed. Fans are already rallying behind her online with hashtags like #PrayForKirk and #StandBy, RASHEED. But the big question remains, is this the end of Jock's run on the show? And could this incident cost him his freedom? And fam, this is only the beginning. Receipts, reactions, and reality-shaking fallout are coming, and trust me, you're not ready for what happens next. The night everything changed didn't begin like a scandal. It began like a typical love and hip-hop taping. Cameras, lights, producers barking directions, the usual chaos. But behind this staged glam and scripted arguments, there was real tension simmering, the kind that no camera operator could ignore. For weeks, Jock and Kirk had been clashing behind the scenes. At first, it was over petty disagreements, who was showing up late to shoots, who wasn't pulling their weight with promotional appearances, and who was throwing shade in confessionals. But slowly, those disagreements turned darker, more personal. Jock reportedly felt like Kirk was undermining him, mocking him behind his back and making him look like a clown in front of the younger cast. Kirk, on the other hand, was said to be tired of Jock's antics, calling him reckless and a liability to the group's brand. People close to production claimed the two men's relationship had been on the verge of collapse for months. At cast gatherings, you could see Jock keeping his distance, choosing to laugh with anyone else but Kirk. And when Kirk tried to pull rank as one of the OGs of the show, Jock would roll his eyes or mutter comments under his breath loud enough for producers to catch. Fans didn't notice at first. It all looked like typical love and hip-hop energy. But insiders say the hostility was building like a storm cloud, waiting for the right spark to ignite. That spark happened on a night that was supposed to be simple, a group dinner scene. With the cast gathered to talk through the latest drama, Rasheeda was glowing in her usual boss lady energy, trying to keep things calm. Sierra was on her phone, half engaged. Spice was sipping her drink, waiting for someone to mess up. Then Jock came in late, looking frustrated, already on edge. He sat down across from Kirk, and the air in the room shifted instantly. According to eyewitnesses, Jock wasted no time throwing a jab. "Man, you out here acting like you the father figure of the cast? Psh, but you can't even keep your own house together," he allegedly said, loud enough for everyone to hear. The table froze. Kirk's eyes widened, but he tried to laugh it off, muttering, "You got jokes?" But Jock didn't stop. He leaned forward, his voice sharper, angrier. "This ain't no joke, bruh. Everybody sees how you moving. Phony, weak. Hiding behind Rasheeda's hustle while you play boss." The cast was stunned. Even for Jock, the words cut deep. Rasheeda immediately jumped in, telling Jock to chill out. But it was too late. Kirk, red-faced and shaking, stood up from his seat. He pointed at Jock and said, "You gonna regret this? You don't disrespect my family." That's when things escalated fast. Chairs scraped the floor. Producers rushed in to calm them. Jock stood up too, his hands clenched. And the shouting match erupted so loud you could barely hear individual words. And then, the moment that shifted everything, Kirk suddenly grabbed his chest. His voice broke mid-sentence, his face contorted in pain, and he collapsed right there in front of the cast. Gasps filled the room. Rasheeda screamed his name and dropped to the floor beside him. Sierra backed away with her hands over her mouth while Spice whispered, "Oh my God, this is real." Jock froze, his face drained of all color. In seconds, producers were calling for medics. Crew members rushing with water, cameras pointing everywhere before the order came down. Cut the feed. Paramedics arrived within minutes, loading Kirk onto a stretcher as Rasheeda sobbed uncontrollably, begging him to stay awake. Jock, meanwhile, was being held back by security, muttering, "I didn't touch him. I swear I didn't touch him." But the damage was already done. In the eyes of everyone there, Jock had pushed Kirk to his breaking point. And when word leaked that police were notified because of the violent altercation, Jock's name was suddenly linked with a word he never expected to hear in connection with himself. Arrest.fans online didn't wait for the official reports. Within hours, Twitter and Instagram exploded with hashtags like #LockJOCUp and #JusticeForKirk. Clips from earlier episodes resurfaced, showing Jock clowning Kirk in confessionals. Blogs started publishing exclusive insider quotes claiming Jock had gone too far. Meanwhile, Rasheeda was spotted outside the hospital hours later. Still in tears, her makeup streaked, whispering to cameras that she just wanted her husband to be okay. The heartbreaking image went viral, turning Rasheeda into a symbol of strength and devastation all at once. What no one can agree on yet is whether Jock will actually face criminal charges. Some insiders insist it was just stress, that Kirk's collapse was medical, not physical. Others claim security footage shows Jock lunging toward Kirk just moments before it happened. Law enforcement is reportedly reviewing everything: the raw tapes, the cast statements, and even the social media reactions. Since the case has already gone public, one thing's for certain: Love and Hip Hop has never seen a scandal quite like this. It's not just a storyline anymore. It's real life, real consequences, and a real possibility that one of the show's biggest stars could be taken away in handcuffs. And as Rasheeda waits by her husband's hospital bed, fans can't help but ask the question, is Jock about to lose everything over one night of rage? When Jock's name first hit the blogs with the word arrest attached to it, nobody believed it. Fans were convinced it was just another messy headline drummed up for views. But then came the footage, grainy, shaky, leaked from someone on production, and suddenly Jock's denial wasn't enough to silence the storm. The clip, just under a minute, showed the tail end of his screaming match with Kirk. You could clearly see Jock standing, veins bulging in his neck, his arm jabbing the air as Kirk leaned back with his hand pressed to his chest. In the background, Rasheeda's voice cracked as she screamed, "Stop! Just stop!" The clip cut off before Kirk collapsed, but it was enough to send the internet into full-blown meltdown. Joc immediately went live on Instagram, his face tight with frustration, saying, "Y'all acting like I swung on that man? I ain't touch Kirk. Not once. I was mad, yeah. We exchanged words, yeah. But don't sit here and paint me as some villain who put him in a hospital bed. That's not what happened." But fans weren't buying it. Comments flooded his live. "You yelling at him like that triggered it. Stress is violence too. Rasheeda crying and you still defending yourself?" Within minutes, #CancelJOC was trending, alongside #PrayForKirk. Meanwhile, Rasheeda wasn't just devastated. She was furious. At the hospital, sources close to her claim she refused to even mention Jock's name, telling producers, "I don't care what excuse he's got. He's not welcome here." She was reportedly so shaken that she demanded Jock be banned from filming future scenes until Kirk recovered. "I watched my husband's body hit the floor while Jock kept mouthing off," she told a close friend who later leaked the quote online. "And now I gotta sit here and pretend it's just TV drama. Nah, this is life or death." That anger was compounded by Jock's attempt at damage control. Hours after his live, screenshots started circulating alleged texts between Jock and another cast member, where he admitted he lost it and wished he'd walked away. One text read, "I just got heated. He be disrespecting me too much. But I ain't mean for it to go that far." Another said, "I hope he okay FR. Don't let them spin it like I hit him, 'cause I didn't." Whether those texts were real or fake didn't matter. They spread like wildfire, cementing the idea that Jock's temper had played a direct role in Kirk's collapse. And then came the first twist nobody saw coming. A nurse at the hospital allegedly leaked to a blog that Kirk's blood pressure had skyrocketed due to severe emotional stress. The report didn't say Jock's name outright, but it didn't need to. Fans instantly connected the dots, calling Jock a walking trigger. One viral tweet read, "Jock might as well have thrown the punch. Stress killed him in front of his wife." Another fan wrote, "If Rasheeda loses Kirk, Jock better lawyer up because this ain't no storyline." As if that wasn't enough, someone from the cast, many believe it was Sierra, posted a cryptic Instagram story showing her makeup table with the caption, "This ain't no fake beef. What y'all about to see really happened." The story ended with a close-up of a tissue box and a hospital wristband lying on the counter. Fans immediately flooded her DMs, begging her to spill the full tea. The producers, caught between a real crisis and ratings gold, tried to keep things under wraps, but it was too late. TMZ was already outside the hospital. Paparazzi snapping photos of Rasheeda sobbing into her hands, Spice holding her shoulders as she broke down. Jock, on the other hand, was spotted leaving his house with his hood up, avoiding cameras. But the image of him walking away, looking tense and defensive, only made things worse. Headlines screamed, "Jock in hiding after Kirk's collapse." The second wave of chaos came when police confirmed they were reviewing all available footage and speaking to individuals present at the scene. Vague statement was enough for fans to declare Jock guilty before charges were even filed. One fan page wrote, "If Jock gets arrested, that's karma catching up for every messy thing he's ever done." Others defended him, pointing out that Kirk's health had been shaky for years and blaming Jock was unfair. But the narrative was already leaning one way. Jock was the villain, Rasheeda the heartbroken victim, and Kirk the fallen soldier caught in the middle of toxic masculinity turned fatal. And just when Jock thought things couldn't get worse, a new clip surfaced. This one wasn't leaked by a shaky camera phone. This came from official production, a scene that hadn't aired yet. In it, Jock is sitting with another castmate venting about Kirk. "He act like he better than me, man. Like I ain't been holding this show down too. He keep pressing me. One day I'm gonna snap." The line, spoken weeks before the incident, now sounded like foreshadowing, a confession of intent. Fans went wild. He literally predicted it. This is why you watch who you put in your circle. The fallout hit fast. Sponsors quietly distanced themselves. Jock's club appearances were canceled. Rasheeda's store was flooded with flowers. Fans writing cards saying, "Stay strong, Queen," and Kirk, still unconscious in the hospital, became the tragic centerpiece of a scandal bigger than any love and hip-hop reunion. The twist wasn't just that. Jock was under investigation. The twist was that this wasn't just a storyline anymore. This was real life. And for the first time, fans began asking if love and hip-hop itself had gone too far, pushing cast members into conflict so explosive it nearly cost a man his life. But in the background, whispers started swirling of another secret. Something Rasheeda allegedly discovered at the hospital that night, a piece of information Kirk had been hiding even from her. And when that comes out, the scandal might just explode again in a way nobody's ready for. The day after Kirk's hospitalization, the cast group chat reportedly blew up like never before. Everyone had something to say, some trying to comfort Rasheeda, some throwing Jock under the bus, and some just trying to protect their own image before the blogs dragged them too. But in the middle of all the chaos, Rasheeda dropped a bombshell of her own. According to insiders, while sitting by Kirk's hospital bed, she found paperwork that flipped the entire scandal on its head. Now, let me explain. Hospitals are messy places when celebrities are involved. Security's tight, but documents get left out, and whispers spread quickly. Rasheeda, already on edge, reportedly spotted Kirk's intake file on a side table while nurses adjusted his monitors. And in that file, under next of kin, the name wasn't hers. It wasn't Rasheeda Frost. It was another woman's name entirely. A name that fans hadn't heard connected to Kirk in years. The moment Rasheeda saw it, sources say she broke down in the hallway. Not because she didn't know the name, she did. It was allegedly tied to an old rumor about Kirk fathering a child outside of their marriage. A rumor Rasheeda had long denied, defended, and brushed off as fake blog talk. But seeing that name listed legally in black and white shook her to her core. To her, it wasn't just gossip anymore. It was real. Here's where things get even wilder. Not only was this mystery woman listed, but she was also reportedly contacted when Kirk was admitted, meaning she knew about Kirk's condition before Rasheeda did. Fans went wild when this detail leaked. One blogger posted, "So you telling me Rasheeda found out she ain't even the first emergency contact? That's betrayal on top of betrayal." Another wrote, "Imagine holding your man down through scandals, tears, and reunions, only to find out he's still got another woman in the paperwork. I'd lose my mind." By the time Rasheeda returned to the set to film her confessional, her energy had shifted. The tears were still there, but they'd turned into rage. In leaked behind-the-scenes footage, she said through clenched teeth, "Everybody want to talk about Jock, putting him in the hospital. Fine, but what y'all don't know is that man had me out here defending a lie this whole time. So don't come to me with sympathy. Come to me with the truth." Meanwhile, Jock wasn't staying quiet. He doubled down on his innocence, hiring a lawyer and even threatening to sue production if they framed him as responsible for Kirk's collapse. Jock's attorney went on record saying, "My client did not physically assault Mr. Frost. Any claims otherwise are defamatory, and we will take legal action." But fans weren't convinced. To them, Jock was still the villain. And now, his lawyering up only made him look guiltier. But here's where the shocking twist hit like lightning. Another leaked recording surfaced, this time from a castmate's mic that hadn't been cut after the fight. You could clearly hear Kirk's voice moments before he collapsed, shouting something that stunned fans. "You better worry about your own side chicks before you come at me about mine." That single sentence changed everything. Suddenly, Jock wasn't the only one on trial in the court of public opinion. Kirk's alleged side chick wasn't just an old rumor anymore. It was confirmed in his own voice, caught on camera. Fans flooded Twitter with theories about who the woman could be. Whether she was the same name Rasheeda saw on the hospital paperwork, and if she was still in Kirk's life at that very moment. Rasheeda, who had stayed mostly silent in the days following the hospital scare, finally broke on Instagram. She posted a black and white photo of her hand clutching Kirk's hospital bracelet with the caption, "Loyalty is a two-way street. Don't have me walking alone." The comments exploded. Some fans rallied around her with messages of love and support, while others dragged her for staying in a marriage they believed was built on repeated betrayals. "Sis, how many times he gotta embarrass you on TV before you choose yourself?" One comment read, "And as if the internet wasn't already on fire?" Ashley, yes, that Ashley, Kirk's alleged ex-fling, decided to enter the chat. She posted a cryptic IG story of herself at a fancy restaurant with a caption, "Funny how tables turn when truth comes knocking." She didn't tag anyone, but fans instantly tied it back to the hospital paperwork and Kirk's outburst. Screenshots spread like wildfire. Within minutes, Ashley's name was trending, and bloggers were calling her the other woman hiding in plain sight. Production insiders claim Rasheeda confronted Kirk privately in his hospital room, cameras rolling outside the door. Though the footage hasn't leaked yet, whispers say Rasheeda asked him point blank about the paperwork and the emergency contact. Kirk, still weak and hooked up to machines, allegedly muttered, "It ain't what it looks like." But for Rasheeda, It was exactly what it looked like. Betrayal layered on betrayal. The real kicker. The cast reunion is already scheduled to tape in a few weeks, and producers are said to be salivating over the mess. They're planning to air Jock's arrest rumors, Kirk's hospital collapse, Rasheeda's breakdown, and the side chick paperwork reveal in one explosive arc. Fans online are already calling it the most toxic season in Love and Hip Hop history. And yet, whispers suggest this is far from the end. Because allegedly, the woman listed as Kirk's emergency contact. She's ready to come forward herself. And if that happens, Rasheeda won't just be dealing with Jock's mess or Kirk's collapse. She'll be forced to confront the truth about her marriage in front of the entire world. The public and industry reactions to this mess have been nothing short of a wildfire. The second the news broke that Kirk had been hospitalized after his blow-up with Jock, and that Rasheeda discovered that bombshell emergency contact paperwork, social media lit up like it was the Super Bowl. Fans, bloggers, and even celebrities couldn't resist weighing in on this scandal. And the comments ranged from sympathetic to downright savage. Twitter was the first place to explode. Within an hour, hashtags like #Justice for RASHEEDA, #KirkExposed, and #JOCInTrouble were trending nationwide. Fan accounts immediately started pulling up old reunion clips of Kirk swearing he was done with the lies, and putting them side by side with Ashley's cryptic restaurant story. Memes went viral showing Rasheeda crying in past seasons, captioned, "This woman been carrying his mess for a decade." Another tweet with over 200,000 likes read, "Rasheeda stayed loyal through prison, fairs, and scandals, just to find out she ain't even his emergency contact. Make it make sense." On Instagram, the comments were just as brutal. One fan wrote under Rasheeda's hospital post, "Queen, you don't deserve this. Kirk, been embarrassing you since season 3. Walk away while you still got dignity." Another added, "Jock me tov triggered it, but Kirk's lies put him in that hospital bed." The overwhelming consensus was clear. Rasheeda had put up with too much for too long, and this was the final straw. But of course, not everyone was rushing to her side. Jock's supporters, yes. He still has a fan base argued that the fight between him and Kirk wasn't what landed Kirk in the hospital. One viral thread insisted Kirk had underlying health issues. Jock didn't put him there. This is production making him the villain again. Jock himself added fuel to the fire when he went live, claiming the arrest talk was exaggerated. He said, "If I put that man in the hospital, why I ain't in jail? Think about it. They just need a scapegoat, and I'm always the easy target." Live pulled in nearly 90,000 viewers, with people spamming the comments with both support and clown emojis. Meanwhile, Ashley leaned all the way into the chaos. She dropped another Instagram story the next morning, this time posting a photo of herself in front of a hotel lobby with the caption, "Y'all stay pressed. I stay booked." The internet lost it. Fans accused her of mocking Rasheeda's pain, while others pointed out that the timing of the post was too coincidental to ignore. Within hours, Ashley was dubbed the villain of the season, with fan accounts flooding her comments demanding she leave married men alone. Even celebrities started chiming in. Michelle, who has a long history of throwing shade on social media, tweeted, "Some women will defend a man until they find out they're defending a stranger." The post was vague enough to not name names, but everyone knew who she was talking about. Cardi B even jumped in with a now-deleted comment on the Shade Room's repost of the story, writing, "It's always the one screaming loyalty the loudest that got the dirtiest secrets." That one got screenshotted and shared everywhere before she could delete it. Inside the industry, producers, managers, and insiders were buzzing. Word on the street is that VH1 executives see this as their golden scandal. An insider reportedly told a blogger, "This is the kind of storyline we dream about. It's messy, it's real, and it's going to dominate the ratings." Allegedly. They've already been in talks about extending the season and dedicating a full episode just to the fallout from Kirk's hospitalization and Ashley's involvement. But behind the cameras, Some cast members are reportedly furious. One anonymous castmate leaked that Spice and Yandi have both voiced concerns about how far the producers are letting things go. "It ain't just TV anymore," the source said. "People's real marriages, health, and reputations are on the line. At some point, somebody gonna break for real?" Despite those concerns, production isn't pulling back, if anything. They're digging deeper. The blogs, of course, are eating this alive. Gossip sites dropped exclusive stories within hours, claiming to have sources close to Rasheeda saying she's considering leaving Kirk for good. One headline read, "Rasheeda finally reaches breaking point, Kirk's marriage on life support." Another blogger claimed Ashley is planning to tell her side of the story in a sit-down interview, hinting that she has her own receipts to expose. Fans are already speculating about what she could possibly reveal that hasn't already leaked. Meanwhile, the comment sections everywhere are turning into battlefields. Some fans are 100% Team Rasheeda, urging her to leave Kirk and start fresh. Others are dragging her for staying this long, saying, "Sis knew what she signed up for. This ain't new behavior." And then there are those who think Jock is being unfairly targeted, pointing to Kirk's own shady behavior as the real root of the problem. The division is sharp, and that's exactly why the industry is watching this scandal so closely. Love and hip-hop has always thrived on drama, but this hospitalizations, secret paperwork, side chicks, and arrestees, the kind of chaos that guarantees ratings, headlines, and endless online debates. Everyone's waiting to see what Rasheeda does next. Does she stand by Kirk one more time? Or does she finally walk away? The reactions have made one thing clear. No matter what the truth is, the audience is locked in. Bloggers, fans, celebrities, everybody's eyes are glued to this scandal. And just when it feels like the story couldn't possibly get messier, producers are teasing that the reunion will shock viewers more than any reunion in franchise history. Because if this is what's happening mid-season, imagine what's going to drop when everyone's forced to sit on the same stage and confront the truth head-on. All right? Fam, just when you thought this scandal couldn't possibly get more chaotic, here comes the final twist that nobody was prepared for. Kirk's hospitalization, Jock's near arrest, and Rasheeda's tears were already enough to keep the entire internet glued to their phones. But late last night, a leak dropped that completely flipped the narrative and left even the cast scrambling to figure out what's real and what's being manufactured behind the scenes. Here's the bombshell. An anonymous account on X, formerly Twitter, dropped screenshots of alleged hospital admission records that show Ashley, yes, the same Ashley tied to the infamous hotel rumors, listed as one of Kirk's secondary contacts. Not Rasheeda, not family, but Ashley. The screenshots, if real, mean Kirk didn't just forget to put his wife as his emergency point of contact. He actively made room for another woman in that slot. Within minutes of the leak, hashtags like #AshleyListed and #hospital receipts shot up the trending charts. Fans were floored. One viral tweet read, "So Kirk had Ashley listed before Rasheeda even knew he was sick. Oh, he'd been playing chess, not checkers." But here's where it gets even messier. While blogs were dissecting the hospital paperwork, another anonymous video surfaced, this time allegedly taken inside the hospital parking lot. In the grainy clip, you can hear Jock yelling, "This ain't my fault. Don't pin this on me," while security tries to pull him back. But that's not the shocking part. In the background, you can hear a woman's voice believed to be Ashley's, shouting something that sounds like, "He called me first, not her." The clip only lasts about 20 seconds, but that one line set the internet ablaze. If Ashley was at the hospital the night Kirk was admitted, the narrative shifts entirely. Was Jock just a distraction in the bigger cover-up? And if you thought Rasheeda's heartbreak couldn't cut any deeper, sources claim she found out about the hospital records at the same time as the public. That means she was scrolling her phone just like the rest of us when she discovered Ashley's name was officially tied to Kirk's paperwork. Allegedly, production cameras were rolling when she saw the screenshots, and insiders are already whispering that her raw Breakdown in that moment will be the most gut-wrenching scene the franchise has ever aired. But the cliffhanger doesn't stop there. Remember how Kirk was caught on the phone outside the studio, whispering about keeping things quiet? Well, according to another leak, he wasn't talking to Ashley. Anonymous insiders claim he was actually on the phone with a producer. That's right, the speculation now is that Kirk may have been working with production to keep Ashley's involvement hidden, hoping to spin the storyline just enough to protect his marriage on camera while still living another life off camera. If that's true, this isn't just a messy love triangle, it's manipulation at the highest level, with producers possibly complicit in keeping Rasheeda in the dark. Fans are torn. Some believe the hospital leaks are authentic and prove Kirk has been disrespecting Rasheeda on a whole new level. Others think the receipts were planted by production to crank up the drama heading into the reunion. One fan comment with thousands of likes summed it up perfectly. At this point, I don't know who's lying, Kirk, Ashley, Jock, or production. All I know is Rasheeda deserves an Oscar for surviving this circus. And here's the kicker. The reunion teaser just dropped a cryptic trailer with a single tagline. One woman walks away for good. They didn't name names, but the editing shows Rasheeda standing up and walking off the set while Kirk's voice is heard faintly calling after her. Was that clever editing or a real spoiler of what's to come? Either way, the internet is already bracing for the possibility that after years of forgiving, defending, and holding down the Frost Empire, Rasheeda may finally call it quits. But until that reunion airs, the cliffhanger lingers. Did Ashley really make it onto Kirk's hospital paperwork? Was Jock truly responsible for the altercation that landed Kirk in the hospital? Or was he just caught in the middle of a bigger scheme? And is production quietly pulling the strings behind all of this to keep ratings alive? One thing's for sure, the Frost storyline has officially gone from messy reality TV drama to something much darker, much deeper, and way harder to untangle. And the entire world is waiting to see who tells the truth first. .fam. If you've been hanging on through every shocking twist of this saga, then you already know this story isn't just TV anymore. It's an event. Jock nearly facing arrest, Kirk fighting for his health, Rasheeda breaking down in tears, and Ashley's name popping up where it had no business being. It's the kind of scandal that has the internet running wild and fans demanding answers. But now it's your turn to weigh in, because in a situation this messy, your voice matters. So here's the deal. Do you believe Jock should really be held responsible for Kirk's collapse? Or was Jock just the unlucky one caught in the storm while Kirk's real secrets, like those hospital records with Ashley's name, are finally crawling into the light? And let's talk about Rasheeda. Should she stand by Kirk again after years of public betrayals? Or is this the moment she finally closes the Frost chapter for good? I want to hear what side you're on. Are you #team RASHEED? A all the way, demanding she walks out and never looks back? Are you side-eyeing Jock, thinking maybe the arrest rumors aren't so far-fetched? Or are you convinced production is stirring this pot harder than anyone else, planting leaks and manufacturing chaos just to keep love and hip-hop trending? Drop your theories in the comments and don't hold back. This is one of those scandals where every opinion fuels the fire, and if you've been as locked in as the rest of us, make sure you smash that like button harder than Jock slammed that argument. Subscribe to the channel so you never miss an update. And hit the notification bell because the next twist is already brewing. Trust me, fam. What's coming next will make tonight's chaos look like child's play. Because in the world of love and hip-hop, the drama never ends. It just reloads. Okay?